Okay po, so ang legal issue natin for today is whether or not pwede po ba ma-impeach si PBBM because of this recent Supreme Court decision. Okay, so ito po yung tungkol dun sa 60 billion PhilHealth funds na kinuha ng administration ni PBBM tapos nilipat nila to other government projects including yung mga unprogrammed funds. Okay, so good day po my fellow taong bayan. Your quote-unquote favorite DDS lawyer, Attorney 𝘄𝘄𝘄𝗆, Attorney Taong Bayan, and quote-unquote Attorney Bayarang Abogado is back po for another video. Okay, so pinangunahan ko na po kayo, binanggit ko na lahat ng nicknames na tinatawag nyo sa akin kasi alam ko naman po na itong discussion natin or ito pong subject matter natin ay medyo controversial kasi it involves the possible impeachment of a impeachable officer, di ba? At tandaan nyo naman po dito sa social media pages ko, sa social media accounts ko, meron po tayong right to free speech dito. So ina-acknowledge ko po yan at tinatanggap ko po lahat ng tawag ninyo sa akin, pero it does not mean na I agree dyan sa mga pinagsabi ninyo. Okay, so you have the right to free speech po, wala pong problema dyan, pero as much as possible po, ang masasabi at mareremind ko lang po talaga sa inyong lahat, wag po tayo maging panatiko kahit sa kaninong political figure at dapat po tutukan lang natin palagi yung mga legal issues. Okay, so for today po, yung pinaka main issue nga natin is kung whether or not pwede ba ma-impeach si PBBM dahil dito, and of course, explain din po ako ng basics ng impeachment at explain ko rin po kung ano ba yung mga epekto talaga nitong mga Supreme Court decision sa batas natin dito sa bansa and some other minor details and matters po na i-share ko sa inyong lahat regarding this issue. Okay, so before we start po, just a quick reminder to all of you, huwag niyo po sana kalimutan mag-subscribe sa YouTube channel ko. Libre lang po yan, wala po yung bayad. Yung goal ko lang po niyan is because of this one. Gusto ko magkaroon ng gold play button. So yung next milestone po kasi sa YouTube niyan is yung 1 million subscribers. Currently po, we are close to 350,000. So if magustuhan niyo po itong content ko or if you believe in this advocacy of mine kung saan nag-explain po ako ng mga legal matters, legal issues in relation to current events, yun po, ang request ko lang naman sa inyo. Hopefully, makonsider nyo pong mag-subscribe sa YouTube ko. Okay? And again, ulitin ko po, wala pong bayad yan. Ang magiging advantage nyo po niyan actually is manonotify kayo every time may bago po akong upload. Okay? So ngayon, tuloy na po tayo sa discussion natin. So i-discuss ko po muna sa inyo yung brief background, yung brief facts ng case para at least mas aware po kayo kung ano ba tong kasong pinapag-usapan natin. Okay? So this one po is the one involving yung kay Coco Pimentel III versus House of Representatives. Bayan muna Chair Nery Colmenares et al. Versus E.S. Bersamin, One Sambayan Coalition et al. Versus House of Representatives. And then yung GR numbers po nito is 274778, 275405, 276233. So these are three cases po na pinagsama-sama ng Supreme Court at ngayon po naglabas sila ng isang decision kung saan in-address nila yung mga issues dito sa tatlong cases na to. Okay? And yung pinaka-facts po natin dito is this one po. Okay? So ang nangyari po dito, merong 90 billion in funds yung PhilHealth. And then, yung gusto po sanang gawin dito ng government is that kunin yung funds na yon, ipabalik yung funds na yon sa National Treasury para gamitin siya sa mga unprogrammed funds na programs or projects. Okay, so ito po yan, yung Special Provision 1D, which authorized the return of the fund balance or the excess reserve funds of government-owned or controlled corporations to the National Treasury to fund unprogrammed appropriations under the 2024 GAA. Okay, so yung first ko pong i-clarify dito sa inyong lahat is this one. When you say government-owned or controlled corporations, ito po yung mga corporations ng government natin, which is, one of which is yung PhilHealth. Okay, so pasok po yung PhilHealth dito. And then yung isa pa pong kailangan nyo rin i-take note dito is this one involves pa po the 2024 General Appropriations Act. Okay, so ina-emphasize ko lang po yan kasi alam naman po siguro ninyo na may currently pending case sa Supreme Court na final yung grupo nila Attorney Vic Rodriguez tungkol dun sa mga blank bycam committee report, yung mga blank na yan, di ba? May pending yan sa Supreme Court. Pero yun po, that is for the 2025 GAA pa yun. Pero this case is tungkol sa 2024 GAA. Okay? So yun again, yung naging issue po dito, yung 90B na funds ng PhilHealth gusto sana kunin at ipabalik ng government para gamitin for unprogrammed appropriations. So yung nangyari po kasi, 60 billion was already transferred or returned to the National Treasury. So yun ngayon yung pinapabalik ng Supreme Court next year, that in the 2026 budget. So currently, meron pa supposedly 29.9 billion PhilHealth funds na gusto rin dapat ipabalik pa ng government ni PBBM. However, nag-issue na po yung Supreme Court ngayon ng temporary restraining order. Okay? So ito po yung pinaka-conclusion niyan. The struck down special provision 1D. Dineclare siya as unconstitutional. Okay? So of course, when you say unconstitutional, that means against po siya sa Constitution. Okay? At kaya po yung issue natin is whether or not pwede ba ma-impeach si PBBM dito is because one of the grounds for impeachment is culpable violation of the Constitution. 'Di ba? So anyway po, yan yung pinaka-facts ng discussion natin. Ngayon, we will go to the legal discussion naman po. We will start things off by me explaining sa inyo kung ano ba talagang epekto nitong mga decisions na to sa legal system natin. Okay? Okay, so yung pinakauna ko po muna ang gusto emphasize sa inyong lahat is that this was decided unanimously by the Supreme Court en banc. Okay, makita po niyo yan. En banc, Supreme Court dito. And then yan po yung mga case title na binanggit ko at GR number sa inyo. And then again, unanimous decision. Okay, so when you say unanimous decision po, ibig sabihin yan, lahat po ng justices na nag-participate dito sa paglabas ng decision na to ay in favor of that decision. So in simpler terms po, itong 15 justices natin ay nag-a-agree na unconstitutional po talaga yung ginawa ng government natin sa pagkuha ng mga PhilHealth funds. Diba yung 60B na nakuha na, pinapabalik, and then yung 30B na naiwan ay pina-TRO po nila. So again, unconstitutional po according to all 15 justices natin. And when you say en banc naman po, diba, like what I stated kanina, lahat 15 justices nagboto, edi ibig sabihin lang po niyan pag en banc, lahat po ng Supreme Court, all 15 justices ay nag-participate dito sa decision na to. Okay, so yan po ang ibig sabihin ng unanimous decision at ng en banc decision ng Supreme Court. And then ngayon po, pupunta naman tayo sa Civil Code of the Philippines, Republic Act number 386. So baka nagtataka kayo bakit sobrang layo biglang naging Civil Code. Pati ako po naguguluhan dito. Pero anyway, it's here under Article 8 to be specific ng Civil Code. So ang issue lang po natin dito is ano ba talaga ang epekto ng mga Supreme Court decisions dito sa legal system natin. At yung sagot nga po dyan is nandito sa Article 8. So basahin po natin, judicial decisions applying or interpreting the laws or the Constitution shall form part of the legal system of the Philippines. Okay, so my main point here is yung decision po ng Supreme Court ay nagiging batas po yan dito sa bansa natin. Okay, so kung sinabing unconstitutional yung ganong action sa maglipat ng GOCC funds sa National Treasury, eh parte na yun ng batas natin. So hindi na po yun pwede ulitin kasi nga unconstitutional yung ganong action ng government. Okay, and then yung next na lang din pong magiging issue natin dito is this one. So, kung makita po ninyo, unanimously, di ba, nag-agree yung Supreme Court na unconstitutional nga yung ginawa ng government. However, meron pong mga concurring opinions na ginawa yung mga iilang justices natin na hindi na-discuss doon sa main decision. Okay? So, ang pinaka-important dito sa issue natin na whether or not pwede ba ma-impeach si PBBM dito is ito pong concurring opinion ni Senior Associate Justice Marvic MVF Leonen. Okay, so i-zoom in ko lang po ng konti kasi baka hindi nyo nababasa. Ito po kasi yung sinabi ni Senior Associate Justice Leonen, Presidential Certification of Urgency of 2024 GAB unconstitutional. Okay, so yan po ang sinabi ni Justice Leonen. And since yung President po yung nag-provide niyan yung Certification of Urgency, eh doon ngayon pumasok yung issue natin na yun na whether or not nga pwede ba ma-impeach talaga si PBBM. Pero yung una po nating tatandaan dito is ito pong sinabi na to ni Justice Leonen is only his concurring opinion. Okay? So, di ba kanina po in-explain ko sa inyo na yung mga Supreme Court decisions forms part of the law of the land. So, yung next question po dyan, paano naman yung mga concurring opinion? Parte na ba yun ng law of the land natin? Is that basically part po ba of the decision ng Supreme Court? At ang sagot po dyan is unfortunately, hindi po yan siya part ng law of the land or ng legal system natin, yung mga concurring opinions. And that is because of Article 8 of the 1987 Constitution. So, ipapakita ko po sa inyo. Wait lang. Okay, so ito po ulit, Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. And then punta lang po tayo niyan dito, Article 8. And then nandito po yan. So, Section 4, Paragraph 2. So, kung makita po nyo, all cases involving the constitutionality of a treatment, international or executive or agreement or law which shall be heard by the Supreme Court en banc. So, ito po yung sa case natin, di ba? Or sa discussion natin, constitutionality of a law heard by the Supreme Court en banc. And then, ang next pong kailangan natin i-take note dito is that it shall be decided with the concurrence of a majority of the members who actually took part. So, as to the main decision of the Supreme Court case regarding this one po, yung pinapag-usapan natin, klaro naman na constitutionality yung pinapag-usapan natin, batas yun siya, tapos en banc, di ba? Yung like what I've explained earlier. And then, klaro din po na yung nag-concur is majority. And as a matter of fact, hindi nga lang po majority, kundi unanimous. Lahat ng Supreme Court justices nag-agree dun sa main decision. So ngayon, ang question na lang, saan dito papasok ngayon yung mga concurring opinion ng mga justices natin, katulad ng concurring opinion ni Justice Leonen. Okay, so like what I said, di ba, hindi po nagpo-form part of the law of the land yung concurring opinion is because yung mga concurring opinions po kasi hindi yun kinoconqueran ng members, ng other members ng Supreme Court or ng other po justices ng Supreme Court. So because of that, hindi siya nagiging batas talaga yung mga concurring opinion. Okay, so hopefully mas klaro yan. Ngayon, ang next question natin, kung hindi naman pala nagiging batas yung mga concurring opinion, hindi ba talaga yun pwede makonsider as an impeachable offense, yung ganong ginawa ni PBBM? Okay, so ang ngayon, papag-usapan naman po natin na is the impeachment proper. Ito pong lahat ng diniscuss natin, this involves regular mga legal cases or legal matters po kasi. Di ba ang tatandaan po natin pag impeachment na yung pinapag-usapan, consistently po yan hiniheld talaga ng Supreme Court na pag impeachment, it is sui generis. Di ba? And when you say sui generis po, that means it is a class of its own. Therefore, it is a mixture of a political, somewhat political in nature, tapos meron din yan siyang legal aspect niya kasi may mga trial and proceedings din po yan. Being sui generis, pwede pa rin siya maging impeachable offense, pero nakadepende po yan sa gagawin ng Congress natin. Okay, so ngayon po, yun naman na-explain ko sa inyong lahat. So, punta naman po tayo. This is still the 1987 Constitution po. Article 11 naman, Accountability of Public Officers. Specifically, Section 2. So, the President, dito lang muna basahin natin. The President, so on and so forth, may be removed from office on impeachment for, and then this one po, culpable violation of the Constitution. At pwede rin actually dito, or betrayal of public trust. Itong ginawa ng government natin or ni PBBM po in relation to this PhilHealth issue. Okay, pero nakadepende po nga yan dito sa gagawin ng Congress natin kasi kung makita po nyo in the very next section, Section 3, nakalagay dyan, the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. Diba? And they may do that by filing a verified complaint, so on and so forth. So, ang point ko lang po talaga dito, kung yung gawin po ng House of Representatives ay merong mag-file ng impeachment complaint, tapos i-argue nila na under this one po yan, culpable violation of the Constitution or betrayal of public trust, itong ginawa na to ni PBBM, itong Presidential Certification of Urgency, and then kung ito po, kinonsider nila as ganun nga, tapos mag-undergo siya nung guidelines na pinrovide ng Supreme Court dun sa Duterte versus House of Representatives. Diba dun mas in-emphasize na po ng Supreme Court yung paano yung proper due process in impeachment proceedings. So despite the concurring opinion of Justice Leonen as not being part of the law of the land, pero kung gamitin yun siya as basis in an impeachment complaint, and then kung yung impeachment complaint po na yun ay mag-undergo ng proper due process in accordance with the Duterte versus HOR case, tapos pagbotohan eventually ng members ng House na impeachable offense ngayon siya, in that scenario po, pwede na siya makonsider as an impeachable offense. Okay? And the reason being is because the impeachment proceedings nga po is sui generis. Diba? Meron siyang political aspect din. So, pag nasunod nga yung full due process provisions in the Duterte versus HOR case, and then it is voted upon by the House of Representatives, yun, magiging articles of impeachment po yun at ipapadala na sa Senate. So, in simpler terms, pwede po talaga siyang maging impeachable offense subject to masunod yung guidelines ng batas natin at pagbotohan siya eventually ng members ng House of Representatives. So because of that voting aspect, dun ngayon papasok nga yung pagiging sui generis or unique ng impeachment proceedings natin. Kasi in regular legal proceedings po, 'di ba? Hindi kasi pwede na magsabi ka ng mga bagay-bagay or gamitin mo as legal basis yung hindi naman batas para maging cause of action mo or maging defense mo in a case. Hindi po yan pwede in regular legal proceedings. Pero yun nga po, since the impeachment is sui generis, it is unique. So as long as pagbotohan po yun ng House and then as long as masunod yung due process provisions or guidelines na sinet in the Duterte versus HOR case, it can constitute as a impeachable offense either dito sa violation of the Constitution or betrayal of public trust. Lalo na po dito sa betrayal of public trust kasi this one po is very very open for argument and for discussion kung what constitutes as a betrayal of public trust, 'di ba? So yung maganda na lang na maging question yan kung kayo po as a reasonable political observant dito sa bansa natin, kung ano yung tingin ninyo dun sa pag-certify as urgent ni PBBM, can that constitute as a betrayal of public trust ba? Kasi dahil doon nagka-transfer nung PhilHealth funds tapos napunta doon sa unprogrammed appropriations, and then alam naman po natin 'di ba na yung unprogrammed appropriations ngayon doon yung yun siya yung isang source basically ng mga flood control issues, ng corruption issues po na dinidiscuss fully ng ICI, ng mga Senate at kung ano-ano pang news outlet at kung ano-ano pang mga content creator katulad ko, 'di ba? So doon po ngayon yan pwedeng mga pumasok yung mga ganyang issue because yung ito nga po, yung betrayal of public trust is very open to argument and discussion. Okay? So, yan lang po. It can be argued as a impeachable offense but it will really depend on the House of Representatives kasi according to Section 3, sila lang po ang may exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. Therefore, sila lang din po ang may kapangyarihan para pagbotohan yan kung whether or not impeachable offense ba yung mga certain bagay-bagay. Okay? So, hopefully, klaro po yan. So if you like more legal videos and current events po, subscribe na kayo sa YouTube channel ko. Again, wala pong bayad yan. And until next time, see you all po. Bye-bye!